you.
Damn your responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to get your attention. Hey. I appreciate you, Bardic Sway.
Don't know why.
Gonna beat you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole situation.
Kneecaps.
Kneecaps.
Yep. Removed.
Yeah, there it is. Wow. Yeah, that's weird. It showed me that it was moving up and down, so.
And we hear you, so you're clearly not muted.
Yeah. You heard me. Unfortunately, that whole situation is garbage.
No, nothing.
Nobody got a recap except for you two, so. You know. That old chestnut.
You know, unless anybody can read lips, then they're fine. When we can go on.
Yeah, no. Shit happens. We left off with you heading into Salem town to talk to Otis with no prior warning for them.
Why do they need prior warning for us? It's not ever going to burn down their place.
You know, sometimes you are known to burn down a place or two.
I'm not known. I'm not known for anything. Apparently, anytime I do anything, the credit goes to someone else. So,
yes, but you are guilty by association because you hang out with me way too much.
Yeah,
that is true.
Mm-hmm. And there's not a building I go into that I don't smell like gasoline.
100% true.
That's okay. There's no problem. Otis loves us.
As long as we enter politely.
And now this is garbage.
This is garbage.
Yeah. If it's not one thing, it's another, bro. If it's not one thing, it is another. So things are progressing really interesting this week. I'll tell you that right now.
Things are afoot. All right. So
there's trouble at the Circle K. I'll tell you that fucking right now.
Okay.
But
let's see.
You head into Salem town. You are pushing morning time. It is about 3:45 when you get to Salem town. You've got about an hour.
No, we shouldn't risk it if that's the case.
Well, you can always stay at the Red Eye.
Who owns the Red Eye again?
Otis and his coterie.
Yes, Otis and his coterie. All right.
You know what? I've never slept there before, so at least that's safe for me.
And I can say that I've never slept there either, so this will be a first for both of us. Yeah. Well, so we can't burn the place down if we're going to sleep there.
Correct. So everything has a way of working out.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. You show up. The bar already looks like it's shut down for the night. Excuse me. There's a couple stragglers out front, shooting the shit, drinking the last of their like cans of beers. The bouncer is still there at the door. He's holding it open. It looks like there's one of the bartenders coming out with a trash bag. But as he sees you pull up from inside, you don't know if it's your eyes playing tricks on you or if it's just the shadows, but you see that there is this monster of a man who looks to be wearing a fur coat coming towards you. Have you guys met Dmitry Korchagin?
Dmitry Korchagin?
Yeah.
No.
Dmitry Korchagin.
Korchagin. No, I don't remember a name like that.
Okay.
No, sir, we have not.
Oh, big monster of a man in a fur coat. All right.
Yeah. You've seen him. You know that he's part of Otis's coterie. I don't think you've been introduced personally.
Yeah.
He immediately comes in your direction as you park the car.
Sweet. All right, I get out of the car.
And he will hold up his hand. You have come too late to meet with anyone. Why are you here?
Well, first off, I believe we haven't been formally introduced. I'm Erickson, Eric the Red, and this is my esteemed colleague Andreas. Otis actually knows us very well, and I know that you must be part of his coterie. We've seen you around.
Nods.
We would need to speak to Otis if we could. We understand the hour, but
Melvin will step aside and start going towards the actual bar. And immediately you see, again, you don't know if it's the shadows playing tricks on you or if it's just the way that he operates, but you do see Manny Garza kind of come out through the door and intercept Melvin and pull him aside. Dimitri looks at him, looks at the two of you. We go inside. We see what John Coulson has to say.
Oh, Coulson. Such an old face that we haven't seen in a while. Let's go right on in. After you, sir.
And he does lead you into the club and straight into the office.
Right, but before we do that, I am deadpan staring at Manny Garza as we pass, like, this motherfucker.
Yeah. And you're not sure if he's doing it to rile you up, but you notice that he has one arm around Melvin's shoulder, but it looks like there's like a shadow tentacle also around Melvin's shoulder. But he gives you a wink as you walk by him.
Mm-hmm. I finger guns. Yes.
You're taking into the office.
Yep.
And you see John Coulson sitting at the desk, and he looks up. And there's a bit of a sigh as he takes off his glasses. He sits back. All right, well, this is a surprise, to be sure. Mr. Wood, Mr. Barker, I don't recall us having a meeting with you this evening. What do we owe the honor?
Oh, Coulson, why the plum face? Seriously, it's you see an old friend and you act like we're gonna ask you for something already.
also we weren't here to see you.
Oh, well, given our prior relationship, Mr. Wood, you would understand why we hesitate to enter into business agreements with your coterie.
I glance over at Andreas. I'm like, I don't think we've ever fought, have we? Your place is all in one piece. I don't know what we could have done to cause any kind of strife between us. I mean, if anything, we're probably the closest friends that you have in this city. And I start chuckling a little bit as I walk over to Coulson. I put out my hand to shake it.
He gets up and he shakes your hand.
Mm-hmm.
I assure you, Mr. Wood, Mr. Barker, if our coteries had to come to blows, I don't see it ending well for your group.
Oh, you wound me, sir. You wound me. This is we're not trying to what's that vernacular that people like to use? Measuring dicks. So that's not what we're here for. This is again, we're here just as friends. I mean, honestly, we've heard such great things between Otis and his coterie, just like yourselves. Manny Garza looks great, doesn't he? But yeah. Mm-hmm.
As an aside, I'll let you know I looked at my notes and he was friends with Andrew Givens, so
Yeah.
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 I had to find I was like, I know that name's in here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
No, Coulson, he's friends with Andrew Givens, who,
He was, yes.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, because Andrew Givens is no longer around. So
Well,
can't be friends with someone who's dead. Can't
He
be
is.
friends.
No, Andrew Givens is around, but only because I haven't cleaned the bottom of my boots.
I see.
I mean, Christian can prove that you can be friends with the dead guy.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Well, if we go by all intents and purposes, it was Willow, because Willow's the one that decided to say that she killed off Andrew Givens. So there's no way that we could have any problem with Coulson.
Sure.
That's how I look at it. I mean,
Mhm.
again, I get no credit for all the work that it's all in my head. All in my head. I get no credit whatsoever.
You definitely should have been the one to diabolize Elizabeth Guernsey instead of Manny Garza.
Yeah. No, now you're just stoking the fire. So anyway,
That was also your hard work.
Just get the blood from Manny Garza. I mean, it's just from one vessel to the next to the next.
Just all in due time. So anyway, Coulson, look, we actually want to speak with Otis, and actually all of you. I know that it's late and daybreak is coming, so I ask humbly for Andreas, myself, and Melvin out there if we can actually stay here for the day and take our business with you guys at a more appropriate time as as you guys are ready to rest up.
He looks up at you for a moment, and as he's about to say something, you see a little red light appear on his phone. He holds up his finger, he grabs it, he hits the button. Yes. Understood. And he hangs up.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, unfortunately, Mr. Garza and I assume Mr. Wright are going to not be part of this because of certain events that have happened this evening. It seems that there is a clan before dishonor type of hunt going on. I'm not privy to what's going on. The only thing that I can share is that someone amongst the Nosferatu has fucked up. I think it's the colloquialism that we're looking for. But you see him go over to the large kind of filing cabinet, and he goes, "Mr. Kochigan, if you could, please." And Dimitri walks over, picks up the filing cabinet, moves it to the side, and you see behind it this massive safe that has been worked into the wall. He goes through the combination, he opens it, and you see this beautiful black interior, multi-tiered, that looks almost like two fully grown adults can fit in there, standing up upright. And you see him pull some of the shelving aside, and then he pulls the fake floor off and reveals a stairway leading down into a basement.
Real quick.
Hmm?
And do I have visibility to the safe as far as him doing the combination?
No.
Oh, okay. No worries.
But he motions for you to go downstairs. And you can hear that there's soft jazz playing.
Hmm. Oh,
Very
Coulson,
trumpet driven.
Mhm.
yeah. Coulson, you're tugging at my heartstrings here with that music.
Well, that's not me. That is Mr. King.
Charles Mingus, good choice.
You have a good ear, Mr.
Go down.
Parker.
Going downstairs?
I was around for him the first time.
And they follow you down. John is the last one to come down. He closes the false wall, and then you hear the very loud thud of the safe closing above you. You see that Otis is downstairs. The whole area looks like a massive, massive replica of like a corner office in a high rise. There are two couches that sit opposite each other with a long coffee table between them. Two love seats on one side, one kind of, for lack of a better word, like one of those very throne-like seat on the opposite end. Behind them, there is an entire wall of records and books. That's where the record player is currently playing its music from. In front of the wall is a large mahogany desk, massive monstrosity. Paperwork's all over it. There's a typewriter. There's one of those old classic like green shelled banker's lamps. Otis is standing, hands behind his back. It looks like he has the white business shirt, the very shale gray vest, the black pants, no shoes, and he's got most of his hair tied back with a very loose ribbon, but it opens up into just this kind of firework of black and gray hair. He turns around and you see him grab a small scotch glass with what looks to be some whiskey, with a little singular orb of ice in it that you hear kind of around the skate around the cup itself. He takes a big sniff of it, puts it on his desk, and walks over, motions to the couches. Please, have a seat. How can I help you two?
Well, I go ahead and I take a seat and I go, well, first off, I just want to thank you, Otis, for seeing us tonight. I mean, I understand. I know it is quite late, and I know you are. Your time is precious, just like everybody else. So, I think we'll cut to the chase. I know that there's been issues with a certain Nosferatu that's causing a stir in Salem, and I imagine you have been hearing this from Garza, and we just heard from Coulson. So myself, as well as Andreas and Melvin, have a vested interest in helping assuage this situation.
I assume you're talking about Teddy.
Yes, sir. Teddy and his kittens. Don't forget about those kittens.
Right. Mr. Wood, I assume that you will be partaking of our hospitality for the day sleep.
I mean, if it's available, of course. I don't mean to be that kind of politician.
Sure, sure. You are free to stay in the office if you'd like. But Mr. Coulson can take you to one of our special houses.
Special houses?
We, excuse me, are not used to it, but we can entertain guests, Mr. Wood.
I mean, an office just works fine for me. I mean,
Okay.
is this, and I take it you don't stay in the office yourself.
I do not. We
I mean,
have our own place where the coterie beds down.
of course. And I mean, might I say, if I'm not the first, I still want to, I want to congratulate you on the amount of noise and reverberation of not rumors. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess the best way I can say is utter chaos that you're causing Hyde in the amount of what's going on here in the city. And I have to applaud you on that.
There's a bit of a smile that comes across his face, and you see him immediately wipe it from it.
But when he does that, I'm like, it's no, there's no sin in vanity, at least not with us. Trust me.
I understand. The thing is, everything that I hear about Hyde points to him not being a well-liked man, given how he usurped the seat I feel it's only fair that I am the one that brings him down.
Real quick, he also torpored Otis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, granted, yes, but I would imagine on a personal note, you would get some satisfaction to take down the person who happened to torpor you in the last Elysium that I was with. I was with you in.
I make no secret that Hyde and I are not friends. But if this sole endeavor was driven by vengeance, Mr. Wood, I wouldn't be a venturer. Be a Brujah like you.
Oh, oh, that's the Otis I know. I trust me when I say that this is again. I know Coulson's a little skittish when it comes to being around us. Yeah, I mean, being friends with the likes of Mr. Givens, I can understand why someone would be a little skittish. But
And Coulson steps out from behind you to
yeah,
sit at the other couch across from me. It's just like, you
problems.
don't misunderstand, Mr. Wood. Coulson Givens was a means to an end. Unfortunately, his views and I don't match up. I belong to one house of my clan. He belonged to a different one.
Well, it's a good thing then that Willow took out. It's a good thing that Willow ended that uh you know that little spat, not spat, but that little relationship between you two. Then
I don't misunderstand. I appreciate everyone that was involved in Mr. Givens' destruction.
I want to look at that and see if that gives me any kind of hint that he would have an idea that we were actually a part of it and not just Willow.
Half of
If there's
Salem knows we did it. They just can't prove it.
Your insight is 3 by itself.
Yeah.
You know that he knows Willow didn't do it by herself.
Okay, that's good. At least he knows we can get our hands dirty. That's really what it comes down to. So yeah.
I don't think that's ever been a question.
No. Sometimes there is. Sometimes it is.
I don't think it's ever been a question.
I don't know. You know, the local power authority tells us, this person's been a real problem lately. Next day they're dead and their haven's burning. I mean,
right?
It's almost like it. You know what? That's a good point that you bring up, Coulson. It's almost like any time that anyone that's in our circle happens to have an issue, they end up turning up dead. That's that you brought up a really good point. Now I have it in my head that it's almost like everybody that we've come across. And I look at Andres, I'm like, right? Can't be. Like, that's just a huge coincidence.
You understand now then why we have hesitation in working with your group.
And I don't even look at Coulson anymore. Now I'm looking over at Otis. I'm like, I mean, I can only speak for myself.
I'm not here to judge you. I don't care what you've done in the past, and I don't care what you've done to get here. I just care about what happens to me and mine.
Mm-hmm. I completely understand. And trust me, we're not here to stir up any problems. Really, we're actually just wanting to lend a hand. Is Melvin in the room? Would Melvin be in the room this whole time?
No, him and
they've been,
Manny.
Yeah,
him and Manny are still around. Okay.
Yeah.
No, they screwed off.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Manny's
speak
been missing. Otherwise, you would have been having a good
Oh,
conversation.
it would have been a different conversation. It'd be like, hey, Manny, why don't you sleep with us? Well, we could talk. It's fine.
Just talk. We'll talk.
We'll just talk. No, look, if you speak with, I don't want to speak for my coterie. That's usually Melvin's job, which Funny enough, he's not here at the moment, and neither is Manny. So, I mean, all I can say is that we're actually here because there's an issue going on with a certain Nosferatu that's causing problems here. Not necessarily by his mean, but because of actions that people have done on top of him. And all I'm saying is that if if it's one of those things where we just happen to need to meet this person, who knows what happens to them in a week?
The issue that I have with that is that the matter is out of our hands as we speak. The issue with Teddy is a Nosferatu issue. Manny and Melvin are both now going to deal with the ramifications that comes from this. Willow has, for some reason, chosen to act against the clan. But there are also rumors that Teddy is not Nosferatu.
He certainly looks the part.
I'm holding back laughter. Like I'm holding it as much as possible. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I know there's no Nosferatu here in the room as currently, but he definitely looks the part of Nosferatu. So, what is he exactly then, if not of his clan?
You for the first time you see Otis calculating. He looks at John. John is still looking at the two of you. Dimitri, you notice, is in the corner, just kind of sitting. Not even like sitting on the floor, like he is sitting squatted, full foot on the floor. Just kind of leaned forward. It almost looks like if you were looking at a silverback gorilla in a zoo, like just kind of sitting there waiting for his opportunity.
Oh, if I see this?
Yeah.
Because I would love. I turn over and I give him the biggest shit-eating grin. I'm like, please, don't threaten me with a good time right now. We're having a conversation. If you want to have extracurricular, we could do so in the next nightfall. I mean, right, Otis? I mean, if that's really what it's going to come down to, at this point,
you notice that Dimitri doesn't even respond to you.
I don't care if he responds to me.
But no, it's like there's a moment where you look at him, you say what you say. This guy's in a different world. Like he's stared off into he's zoned out. Like he zones out any meeting. And even when you kind of like you say your piece and then you go back to Otis, and then you go back to him and he's still like if this was an anime, there would be a little snot bubble blowing out of his nose.
Oh, so he's just now with us at the moment.
He is checked out.
Okay.
Yeah. Like he found a comfortable spot and he stayed there.
I see.
That motherfucker is back in Russia right now.
Look, I know what we've heard, and the fact is that you're getting a lot, of support from many people in the city. And I know that that stirs up a lot of attention.
He holds up his hand. He's just like, support from who? Because I sure as fuck haven't seen it. I sure as fuck haven't felt it either. There's a lot of talk going around. There's a lot of wind and hot air about support. Look around, Mr. Wood. Where's the support?
I point at Snot Bubble. Point. Pointing at him. Looking at Coulson. Well, currently in this room you have 5 people.
Well, in lieu of support,
Yeah.
how would specialists in not so subtle mayhem do in certain situations for your coterie, Otis?
It would
Especially,
be
especially things you wouldn't want to be directly connected with.
And don't forget, I don't want you to forget what happened in the Elysium. I mean,
I
it
would never forget what happened in the Elysium.
correct. So you already know what we could be capable of. We just had what we did was just a taste of what happened during that time. And trust me when
I have never forgotten what you're capable of, Mr. Wood. I just haven't found the China shop to let you loose in.
Mm. Oh, I mean, it doesn't have to be a China shop. It could just be, you know, a city, a specific part of the city, specific person.
The issue I have is that you boys have been separated from what's going on this side of the Willamette. And that's understandable. You left, did some things in Portland. Uh, you've come
Oh, you know
back.
about that. Okay.
Mr. Coulson and Mr. Handel talk. They exchange correspondence.
Mm.
Uh, but you're back now, and it shows.
Are you? There's already been a stir. Well, what happened since we got in here?
You see one of the paintings on the wall. He goes over, he takes it down, and there's a television with a news report, and reporters are all over the last call and the fire that just started.
Wait. It's not the last call. It's some fucking Reiki ding bullshit now. It's not called
What
the last
what
call.
what was the last call?
Well, now they can call it the ashtray.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
um,
the news will just put anything on at this point. That's what I just say. I'm just like,
yeah.
just put anything on at this point.
The ticker at the bottom though says, "Does this constitute an attack on the city?" And you see that there are 2 other news reports of fires in the city. One at the Orpheus and one at the Elahe Country Club.
Wait. There's one at the Orpheus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just want to say, um, maybe only 33% of what you're seeing there could have been done by us. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I'm fully aware that you don't have the ability to be in 2 places at the same time, or 3 for that matter.
Hold up. So this all happened, and I look back at the ticker. It all happened at the same night.
Same night. The Orpheus was first, the Elahe Country Club was second, and wrapping up the end of the night is the last call.
Good way to wrap up the night. Is there any word on the ticker tape? Is there any word of any fatalities or any mysterious deaths around the other 2 fires?
None. They were all
Myster-
done after hours, so nobody was hurt.
Hmm.
Oh. Nobody human anyway. Who owns the Orpheus? Do I have that?
Yeah,
Yes, it's
the
Suncorp.
Xiaolong group.
Oh, the Xiaolong
Oh,
do. They kicked out the Suncorp, who now
Yep.
took over what used to be the last call, which Suncorp is owned by Malcolm Davies right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good. So they've been retaliating against each other.
that sounds like fun.
Yes.
So it's not us. Do you know who it was at the Orpheus? I mean, I'm just curious at this point since we're having this conversation.
I don't have definitive proof of who it was at the Orpheus. I can only assume. I know
Okay.
who it was at the country club, though.
Oh, so
Good
who
to
was it
know.
at the country club?
That was Grant Reynolds.
My
Ah,
favorite former Templar.
Mr. Reynolds.
He's striking out. it seems that one of his associates has betrayed him. So he's trying to find him by whatever means necessary. So he's smoking him out.
Oh,
Quite
and who's this?
Quite literally in this case. Yeah.
Werner
we have
Hertzfeld.
Ah.
Hertzfeld. Hmm. I'm trying to remember the last time I've seen or had a conversation with that someone spoke about Hertzfeld.
Long time.
Trying. Okay.
This means that Reynolds is down to 2 members of his coterie that he can count on, assuming he hasn't turned on them as well.
Hmm.
And Otis, I take it you and Reynolds on good terms currently?
No, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So we have that
Hmm.
understanding amongst ourselves.
This is just me reaching, and it's just that, old life and all, itching politics and all. You're not, are you trying to reach out to Reynolds at any point? Because if so, I mean, I think we can help.
You think you can bring him to the table?
I think one of us can.
Question is, will he come to the table?
It all depends on what you're offering, Otis. Or what I can tell him that you're offering. Can I give him the you just wink? Aha!
I don't think someone like Reynolds is going to take an offer.
I know this is not going to surprise you, but we've already had a pleasant conversation with Mr. Reynolds. And he's not the kind of person that would dissuade curiosity. I think that he's a little too. His arrogance allows him to satisfy his curiosity with certain requests, and I think having a meeting with you in a setting where he believes that he can still have control would actually entice him. And I could be wrong, but that wouldn't be the first time that I lost in any kind of any kind of political game, but it's worth a shot.
Long shot.
I mean, what worst case scenario? You don't have to worry about me anymore, sir. And then I look over at Snob Bubble. I'm like, I envy you sometimes, sir.
He snaps out of it and he looks at you. What do you mean?
In due time. And just I turn back to Otis. I'm like, so if you want, we can, trust me, marinate, think about it. We're not going anywhere, obviously.
Right.
And again, we certainly do appreciate the hospitality.
Of course. What do you plan to do with Teddy? Because that might shift my plans accordingly.
Well, normally we'd be hoping to free him, actually. We think most of the noise that's been made around the city is actually not him and maybe something else entirely. So, our priority would actually be to get him out of the hands of the Malkavian Primogen.
You see him go back to his desk and he grabs the glass of whiskey. He sniffs it.
Toto. Toro.
I wonder what you will do once you learn the truth of this friend of yours.
What, that he's another type of creature that goes bump in the night? He's been kind to us so far.
Look, if
That's
you're gonna tell us he's a gargoyle, just say it already. It's not like it's the first time we've ever had to deal with that.
No.
I say that jokingly, but then I'm just like, ha, ha, are you sure? It's not just you can tell me seriously.
in my head. I'm having a little shut the fuck up Erickson moment.
Yeah. And you do notice that Coulson has raised an eyebrow when you bring up a gargoyle.
Mhm.
But Otis says, no. It's not my place. You two enjoy the accommodations. And you see him go over and he pulls one of the books and the bookshelf turns over and you see this full floor to roof mirror. He goes, Mr. Coulson, you do the honors. And at that, you see Dimitri stand full up and walk over. John Coulson stands up, walks over, and Otis just kind of stands in front of the mirror as Coulson activates it, and they step through, leaving you in the office by yourselves.
Fucking bitches, bro, with these stupid fucking mirrors. I look over at Andreas. I'm like, did I say something wrong? I thought I was doing pretty good. I mean,
You said a lot of things wrong. You threatened him 3 different times. You threatened him 3 different times underneath his own roof.
I didn't threaten him. That's how I talk. That's-
Yes, and you wonder why it ingratiates people to you so quickly.
he sees more of benefit between us than anything else. I mean, look at me. Look at me. Trust me.
Blood
And like
started to
I want to scan the room real quick.
Cool.
This is the 80s, so it's not like there would be if there was any kind of camera situation, it would be more obvious than not.
Hmm. There are no
I just
cameras.
wanted to know,
There's no cameras in the room.
is there phones?
There is a phone, yeah.
Okay. I go to the phone and I check to see if there's a bug in it.
No.
I'm idly curious. The bookshelf that I'm assuming moved back back over the mirror. What book did he pull?
No, it's still stuck in the mirror.
Oh, it's still stuck in the mirror mode?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it locks.
Wanted to see where their sense of humor lied.
If it turned back around, they wouldn't be able to come back into the room.
You never know. Maybe they got it from the other side.
I mean, he trusts us enough where we won't smash the mirror, so let's just put it that way.
I mean,
And
he
granted,
does, he
granted
does have a
hospitality.
car.
He does have a car.
He can still come back.
Yeah.
But also, let's not end all of our friendships in this town.
Let's not burn
At the very-
every single bridge.
At the very least, if we can't bring the Camarilla down in a particular city at a particular time, it behooves us to have people in power that at least we can deal with.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
You're making me the voice of reason, Erickson. This is not a good look for me.
Look, I'm just like I am honestly surprised that you allowed me to talk as long as I did. That's just usually
I was
this is
fascinated as to what was going to come out next.
usually I would have Melvin here, and then I'm like, Melvin's still not here.
Quick aside, Will. Manny Garza, the guy we were always joking about, he was a Nosferatu as well?
He is a Nosferatu.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, that fucker's a
So
Nosferatu.
so both of them had to creep off for something clan related. And now they're telling us that Teddy may not be a Nosferatu. I mean, what the hell else does that leave?
I mean, what can pass off as a Nosferatu? I mean, he seemed very much like a Nosferatu.
He does, but there would be things. Will, could I actually roll for this, knowing a little bit more of Vampiric history in Europe?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm
Let's.
not
This is
even gonna attempt it. I'm
this
not
yeah.
even gonna attempt it.
Many a
You,
story around the campfire with Messiah.
yeah, you could do an intelligence, an occult, intelligence and streetwise, intelligence academics. Take your pick.
You said what? Occult,
Occult,
academics, or
streetwise or academics.
streetwise? I'm gonna have to do streetwise on this one then.
Okay,
Just to get the better pool out of it.
you got it.
Hunger's at 1, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
You guys have been behaving. So proud of you.
Well, like I said, we don't want to get like in too much trouble. All right,
I mean,
eight on the hunger die, and then 664.
Okay. Um, once Otis told you that Teddy might not be Nosferatu, immediately and now that you've been left alone and that Erickson has brought up the question again, like if he's not Nosferatu, what could he be? Immediately your mind starts to race back to stories. And these are like nightmarish tales that you were told at one point. Maybe, given the way that the extremities were stretched out, given the way that that his monstrosity didn't make you feel uneasy, really.
Mm-hmm.
The only word that comes up, and it comes up in your sire's tone of voice, that it almost comes out of your mouth that way, is Simitsi.
Well, Erickson, there were some tales way back in Europe that my sire told me many a time that another one of the clans, I think these are creatures, some of them became members of the Sabbat later, but the Zamitsi, monstrous things that warped and melded flesh, like they could make you look like a Nosferatu without causing the curse on you. Like, you ever notice, as disgusting as Teddy is, how he's actually fairly symmetrical for a Nosferatu? That sort of thing. Sort of curse that would be done on purpose. Think of the deepest, darkest forests of Eastern Europe and the kind of nightmares you'd find in them. Like, this is the reason why people were barring their doors at night and putting up and building up the campfires as high as possible just to keep these things away in the dark.
okay. I understand the boogeyman. Yeah, I get that.
It's a whole clan of boogeymen.
But that just doesn't jive with me. The reason why I say that is because he seems Teddy. I mean, Teddy acts way too much of a Nosferatu that even Melvin believes him to be Nosferatu. So,
If I told enough people I was a Brujah, they'd probably believe me.
Oh, that's bullshit. That is bullshit, and don't offend me like that. But yes, I get what I can kind of understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But could it also just be possible that they're just saying that he is, just so that they can get away with the fact of what they're doing to him?
Very possible. Which is why we're still going to try and break our friend out. Look, whether Otis and his gang helps us or not, we don't need to have bad blood between us. So if they choose not to help us, that's fine. But regardless, Teddy's been kind to us in the past. We've had good exchanges with him. The least we can do is try and bust our friend out of there. And if he is some sort of horrific monster, that is a horrific monster I would much rather have on my side than most of the Canaanites in this city.
I agree with you.
Present company excluded.
All right. Well, I honestly think that we should have this conversation with Melvin.
I agree. However, in the meantime, we should probably be getting some rest. So, unless you want to go rifling through their desk, and I'm kind of out of rude today. Fresh out of rude.
To be honest, he was very nonchalant about us staying here. So, I imagine there's nothing here to find, even if we wanted to look for it. So, yeah, I'm down for the. I'm okay with having just the shut eye.
Mm. Well, I will take a little time just scanning around the place, like going back to the entrance and stuff, because I heard the thump of the filing cabinet and everything earlier, but just making sure all the exits from that side feel secure.
Yeah, like you can prop up the false floor to the safe, and
Yeah, as long as it feels solid, I'm good.
Yeah,
or at least
the safe itself is locked. So
yeah.
And even just like kind of tapping your finger on it, there's no
reverberation.
None at all. Like that thing.
Yeah, we are underground and we are packed in tight.
Yeah. You would have to drop a nuke on top of you to do any kind of damage.
God, such a shame I'm a Ravnos. I would love something like this.
But you do hear the record come to an end, and you do get that thump.
Oh, actually, since we're here,
for the sake of his record, I will take the needle off and reset it.
Actually, you know what? We don't get this enough. And I look to see if they have any Thelonious Monk Bemshaw swing.
He does. Otis. One thing that I agreed on is that Otis is prolific when it comes to music.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's go with that. I wish I could have a black and tan, but I can't stomach that anymore. So we'll put in
He does have his liquor trolley there, so in case you wanna.
In case I want to throw up, yeah. Thanks.
Smell anything.
But no, I'm not having the Metatron special and just smelling that shit.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I'll just put that on. Head to bed.
Yeah.
Sleep.
I'm definitely. I mean, obviously, I can't really control what I sleep or what I dream about, but I'm just like, I'm still just running. I'm still rolling that in my head about the Tzimisce, because even among the Ravnos, that was known. Do not fuck with the Tzimisce.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, honestly, it would be from their clan more than anything else, is where we learned to be polite and fucking announce our presence in various territories.
For sure.
So this is making my skin crawl just a little bit, but at the same time, I'm excited because you might be able to truly befriend a Tzimisce.
Mm-hmm. Your day sleep comes and grabs you as you're used to. The next night, if both of you could give me a rouse check.
Sure thing.
To wake yourselves.
That's just the one die, right?
Mm-hmm. One single 10-sider.
8.
Got an 8 as well.
Ocho.
Okay. Nice. So you both managed to rouse yourselves without incurring any hunger. The day sleep, and you're not sure if it was just the kind of anxiety of it. Erickson doesn't really remember anything that happened during the day sleep, but for Andreas, there is this half memory, half story of the most famous of all Tzimisces, Vlad the Impaler. And there is this image that just kind of permeates the last vestiges right before you awoke, and you could feel the beast kind of crawling back into its position at the base of your throat, just kind of like gurgling for its sustenance, even though you...
My dream scared my beast.
Yeah. But it nestles in at the bottom of your stomach, right as it's always been, just kind of wanting for more, even though you rose without raising your hunger.
Mm-hmm.
The beast can never be quenched. But you remember a blood red mist rolling over the land. You remember the sight of a broken down, nature reclaimed castle kind of parapet, and just these wooden pikes on the floor, on the ground, that had been stabbed in like massive toothpicks. And you could see the head of every vampire you've come in contact with. You could see Tulip, you could see Sam, you could see Otis, you could see John, you could see Dimitri, Hyde, Garter. Then you saw Erickson, you saw Melvin, you saw Colleen, and then you saw yourself. And that's when you kind of burst up into a sitting position.
I was hoping I'd be the only head up there I didn't see.
But it did not bode well.
No, it does not bode well. Although, because since we're actually in the 1980s, I can't actually bring up to Erickson and be like, "Do you ever see those little Bela Lugosi movies way back in the day?" Come on, it was one of the earliest vampire films ever. I know you had to have seen it.
Yeah, I have seen it, but we can't talk about it here.
Yeah, of course. But the vampire in that movie supposedly based on one of those creatures I was talking to you about last night, the Zamitsi.
Okay.
The mirror ripples, and you see John Coulson step out, Dimitri, and then Otis. Whole new suit, whole new look. Everyone except Dimitri looks completely different.
Okay.
I hand Dimitri a napkin, a handkerchief, so you can get the snot that's running down his face. Here you go, sir. I don't know if anybody cares enough for you.
He pockets it. I appreciate the gift.
Okay.
Otis, gentlemen.
All right. Well, I appreciate you not burning down my office. A good step forward in continuing our relationship.
I slap my knee. Slap my knee.
Well, we appreciate the hospitality. This was actually quite a restful sleep for me.
Good. Good. John, if you could let them out. And he goes over. You see him climb up the steps. And then after some dial turning, you do hear the heavy door open. Otis looks at the two of you. I've done some thinking, and I will continue to do some more thinking about your offer to bring Reynolds to the table. I'm not opposed to it, but I need to know that he will not turn on any of us, yourselves included.
We'll have to set the table very carefully.
Agreed.
He comes over and he extends his hand out to you guys.
I'll take it. Solid one pump handshake.
I give him I squeeze his hand, almost like the first meeting that we had together. But I stop. I just shake his hand, and
I remember to show respect and actually take off my biker gloves, by the way, before I shake his hand too.
Okay.
And with that, if you ever need us, please, you can always reach out to Tulip. Tulip seems to find us wherever the hell we are, or you can always contact us over at the Albatross.
Or anywhere there's a wide smoke signal.
You see he smiles and he looks over and is just like, if you're not opposed to it, if you could give a little pinprick of your blood to John, we could do without the third party messengers.
Give me a second.
Put up my hands.
All right.
and he does just kind of, you see him stab you, and he puts your blood on a little petri dish. He labels it, puts it away, does the same thing to Andreas, puts it away. Very good. Thank you,
Oh,
gentlemen.
before I go, I forgot. One person, because as you know, we were in Portland, and we happened to run into some people, and there's actually a message that was told to us to give to you, Otis. And I do apologize, Will. I'm trying to remember the note here of who gave this message. I believe it was the prince from Portland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The prince just wanted to say he wishes he could have helped you. There's no bad blood between you and him, and he hopes that you get the help that you need. I smile, and I look over at Andreas. I'm like, look, I did a thing. And then I turn around.
Understood. I appreciate you delivering the message.
Of course. And off we go
Yeah. I was like,
to
we have
find Melvin, because where the hell's Melvin?
we also have and then we have a monster to save.
Yeah.
You go upstairs. Olsen closes the safe behind him as Dimitri put the file cabinet back. He goes, I don't know if you want to storm the gates by yourselves, but if you're looking for an easier time, I can get you close to Kaiser.
I'm all ears, good sir.
And you see him open one of the sides of the filing cabinet, and there's a mirror inside.
Ooh. Where is this going to drop us off?
There's a bookshop that I am associated with in Kaiser.
Bookshop, you say?
Shut up.
The gentleman that owns it is a associate of the clans, so he has been warned that someone might be coming through. This is an option, but if you would like to find Melvin, I understand.
Oh, yes. I mean, how could, what is a
I-
coterie if not together?
Well, finding a Nosferatu that doesn't want to be found.
We can always at least try.
Two Nosferatu that don't want to be found.
Yeah, you're
Obviously,
right.
Manny's not here among them either. So wherever the hell they went, he didn't crash with his coterie either.
But I get you. Oh,
All right, fair enough. Let's find the Nazi first.
Understood.
yeah.
He closes the
However,
file cabinet.
if we do happen to want to use that, we can always come back, of course.
Oh, of course. I don't charge much per use, just a small favor.
I see what you did there.
Our entire culture deals in favors. We'll be fine.
Yeah. All right.
Personal boons, things of that nature.
Understood.
Oh, if you ever need a large quantity of large caliber weapons, I'm good for that too.
Oh, Mr. Barker, I believe that your group handles majority of the weapons coming into town.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you ever need any in the future, maybe we can work out a discount.
Understood. We're
I
always looking for new supply chains.
I extend my hand,
He shakes it.
and I actually extend my hand out to Dimitri.
He looks at it for a moment. John nods at him, and you see out of the sleeve of the fur coat, you see this clawed kind of not human, but not bestial hand come out and just kind of engulf your hand in his. And you can feel the raw power behind this
Nice.
man.
As he does that, I actually try to pull him, which won't work. So it pulls me closer to him.
Yeah.
And I actually reach over to embrace him. I'm like, sir, you and me have a lot more in common than you believe.
You are from Russia as well?
Sure. And I let go. And I'm just like, all right, sure.
We will have to talk about family then.
Of course. Yes, Mother Russia. And then I turn around and I walk away.
Yep. And you just see Coulson sitting there pinching the bridge of his nose.
I feel like saying in Russian, it's like, I don't think he knows what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Mother lies! And we just run off.
Yeah. But you come out, you can see that the bar is not in full swing, but it is already operating. There's maybe 3 or 4 people, kind of a couple at the bar, and then a couple strewn about the tables. What day is it? I think it's Saturday. So
yeah, take a quick gander at them. Anybody familiar in that crowd?
no, these
Okay.
are all people from up here.
All right.
But you do notice, if it is Saturday, then they've already taken down the mechanical bull.
Thank God.
So, but you do see that the mechanical bull is gone. No, it's Sunday, so that was taken off a while ago. So,
No.
yeah, it's just a typical kind of like end of the week looking crowd here.
All right.
Okay.
But you go outside. Did you see that Erickson's car is still there? But wherever Manny and Melvin went, they didn't take your car.
Okay.
I want to go back into the bar just to check. Ask the bartenders there. I go, and by any chance, would you have known where Manny Garza has gone? Because we saw him last night.
The bartender looks up from him pulling out the glasses that he said to clean, and he looks up. He's like, "No, he's usually here already by the time I come in. He's normally the first person we kind of get to see, but yeah, no. Now that you bring him up, I don't. It feels weird not having seen him."
All right. Shoot. So
Well, what Nazis do we have the phone number for? Like what, Tulip?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like this is clan business. We could try and get a hold of one of the other Nosferatu.
true. And
Granted,
she
he
is
doesn't try to
the
tell us
whip.
anything, but
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, she probably has better rapport with you than me. So let's just put it that way.
Currently,
He
the
must not.
only Nosferatu that aren't part of your coterie are Tulip, Willow, and the Primogen Julian.
well, obviously we're not taking this to the Primogen right away, or at
And we're
all
not
if we can
talking to
avoid it.
And we're
Yeah.
not talking to Willow, so yeah,
Tulip,
I guess.
yeah.
So Tulip it is.
Right. There is a payphone down in the corner that you could use, and you ring Tulip, and you hear her answer machine come up.
Damn.
You've reached Tallulah. When you hear the beep, if you could please leave a message for me, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. And then it goes, dude.
I hang up the phone. It's like I didn't know her name was Tallulah.
Tallulah.
Tallulah. 2 L's and a U. Or 2 L's and an H. 3 L's and an H.
It always reminds me of Cool Running. Tallulah.
All right, Will, I call back again and I actually leave a quick voicemail. Just tell her that we're looking for her.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing sounding urgent, nothing sounding too specific, just in case she's in some shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, hear me out. This is just spitballing. Maybe they're already on their way to save him. And they just didn't tell us?
Well, it's possible. If they still think he's a Nosferatu, they might think it's very untoward that he's being held by the Malkavian Primogen.
Yeah. And it's not like Tulip to not answer. She is a whip after all, so she needs to respond.
I'm getting that danger itch again.
Oh, I mean, I get it all the time. There's a cream for that.
Yeah, it's like 9:30 by the time you leave Otis's place. So even then, like even if she's a late sleeper, it's not a lot of time that she would have had like an hour maybe to start her whatever she does in the evening. So it's well within the reason to think that she would have still been home.
I don't know where she lives though, so I'm not even about to venture that guess.
All right, Will, I'm gonna have to ring my boys in the Free Souls and let them know to move the mobile haven as close as they can to the Kaiser area without being too conspicuous.
Yep. You hear Shepard. You want us armed, or you want us to go in there casual?
No. Armed is fine, but I only need you guys near the Kaiser area. I don't want you moving in just yet.
You got it.
Yeah. More specifically, I just need the haven there just in case.
Understood.
And also, it's also because where all the weapons are.
Correct.
All right. So now the question is,
before we do that, let me go ahead and call up, just because I got to do this routinely. Reaching out to Mickey Blue.
do it.
Okay. You call the phone number, and by the fifth ring, it picks up, and you hear him kind of like out of breath. Yeah. How can I help you?
Eric, this is Eric. I'm looking for
Oh,
Mickey.
Mr. Wood. No, it is Mickey. He's just
Oh, it is Mickey.
he's out of breath. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was in the middle of something. How can I help you?
Oh, you sly dog, you. Well, I can let you get back to that in a moment. I just wanted to know if you got anything from the last time we spoke. If you have any kind of update for me.
Ooh. I do, just not at hand.
Oh, you're in the middle of something. I imagine you're knee deep in something currently, there, Mickey.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. You know, Mickey. I'll call you later, sir.
I would appreciate that.
Hang up the phone.
Yeah.
I don't see any other. Obviously, I think he's fucking. So I'm not
Sure.
thinking of it. I'm not even gonna attempt he's doing anything else other than that. So let's just go about my way. Like, you know what? What were you gonna say, Andres?
I was saying maybe we're going to take a mirror ride and find out what's going on in Kaiser.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, one last phone call also to Shepard. Send one of the Free Souls over here to pick up Erickson's car and move it out into the Kaiser area as well.
You got it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, so as politely as possible, we'll move back towards Otis's Haven. I mean, what's called the bar.
Yeah, and you see there's no bouncer posted up just yet, so you guys can just walk in.
Okay.
And Coulson is standing at the edge of the bar with like a clipboard, going over the things for the evening. He sees you come in. He smiles.
Well, it looks like we might want to be taking the reflective little highway. We haven't found Melvin anywhere, so I think we're going to scout. I think we should scout out Kaiser.
Sure. He gives the clipboard to the bartender, and he's like, "Give me a second. I'll be right back." The bartender's like, "Yeah, of course." Huh? He takes you into the office, opens the side of the filing cabinet, and you see him. You grab the two petri dishes and puts them between his middle finger and his pointer, and his middle finger and his ring finger. And he uses the edges to kind of cut into his palm and puts it to the mirror, and you see it ripples for a second like it's made out of water. It has
Cool.
that very much T1000 feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you see him holding on to it, and he's just like, step on through, gentlemen. Just be aware that if you've never done this before, it can be disorienting.
Oh, never to be outdone. Go first.
Okay.
Son of a bitch. All right. I just walk. Well, I don't even know how this works. I'm not even going to try to go slow. I'm just going to go head first.
I psychotically cannot be the pussy. It's literally part of my blood.
Yeah. Impossible. If both of you could give me composure and resolve rolls.
Mm-hmm.
As to not lose my bowels.
I mean, you can't lose your bowels.
Okay.
But the moment you step through, it is frigid cold.
So composure and what? I'm sorry.
And resolve.
And resolve. Thank you.
10 on the hunger die, and then 6 and 5.
Okay. It is frigid cold. There's a moment of just pure blackness, and then all of creation sits stretched out before you. And then it almost as if you were being pulled in a direction, then you're yanked back and thrown into another one, and immediately everything just swirls around you, and you go into another instance of pure blackness, and then you're vomited out onto what looks to be a green room or a little coffee shop. And you can smell the espresso, you can smell the kind of sweets, the baked goods. What did Erickson get?
8 on hunger, 2 6s, and a 2.
Okay. The experience, if you had an actual working stomach, you would have thrown it up all in its entirety. Even the beast is confused and, for the moment, sated in its incredibly minuscule existence, given the rest of humanity, the rest of everything.
Okay. All right. Taking a quick look around once, heads clear and whatnot. Do I see the gentleman that Coulson was talking about from earlier?
Yep. Yeah, you see
meeting
that
us on this side.
Yeah, you see that he has his back to the room. He's just kind of like talking to somebody, but he does kind of look at you from the side of his eye. And after he's done, he motions to a direction, and then just as quickly kind of steps down into the room that you're in. You see that he does have a towel ready, but as both of you kind of stand up and dust yourselves off, he nods with an impressed look, puts the towel over his shoulder. Gentlemen, welcome to Kaiser.
Good evening.
Pleasure. Eric, that is Andreas. I am Erickson.
Excellent. My name is Lucas.
Lucas.
Yep. If you'll follow me, I'll take you around the side through the kitchen. And the moment that he takes you through the kitchen, you can the smells become even more magnified, and then the moment you see the two bakers and the girl behind the counter watch you walking by them, both your beasts start to kind of gurgle back up at the thought of fresh blood that you haven't had yet. And that familiar hunger starts to gnaw at the base of your throat. But he leads you out. Here you go. Will there be anything else?
Yeah. You wouldn't happen to be aware of the general direction of the Malkavian's Haven around here?
If you are looking for the estate.
That definitely sounds ominous enough to be what we're looking for.
Of course.
Correct.
You want to take 2 streets down. You're going to hang a left, and you can't miss it. It'll be on your right-hand side.
Much appreciated.
Of course.
Thank you. If all goes to plan, we shouldn't be coming back this way. So, thank you for your assistance.
It has been already told to me. Have a pleasant evening, gentlemen.
Likewise, Lucas.
That remains to be seen, but thank you.
Yep.
What's the name of the coffee shop?
It is the Roasted Good Time.
Roasted good time.
Yeah, and good has an E at the end, so it must be some pronoun.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just writing it on our small list of places not to burn down. So this is
Oh,
All of West Salem, but not here. Not here. This particular
not
block.
here. This
We're gonna
this
dump
we
a lot
need-
of water around this one.
yeah.
I like that you have a list of places not to burn down, because I always thought it was just a list of places to
I
burn
can't
down.
believe he keeps a list.
That would that would be a long ass list. It's rather whichever is longer, whichever is shorter, that's the list you make. You don't want to make a list of all the places you're going to burn down.
Right,
just long
correct.
enough so that you can make this, so you can do the lyrics to "We Didn't Start the Fire" to it.
There you go.
Correct.
Okay.
I figured everything to burn just said Salem.
Mm-hmm. Salem and anything in Camarilla control.
Okay.
Well, I mean, wait, Portland? No, we didn't. Did we? No, we didn't. Wait.
You burned some things in Portland.
Yeah,
Yeah, we burned some things in Portland. Yeah.
we caused some shit, but that was more we were setting off proxy wars because we were getting people to go at each other's throats without really looking at us.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
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 When we get out of the shop, I wanting to know if by any chance we happen to see my car or we see the free soul in close proximity.
Oh, not at
Dude,
all. Kaiser's huge.
Not at all.
Yeah, we teleported. I mean, they have to go get your car, drive it all the way over,
that's
move
true.
our
Yeah.
No,
we literally called them like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of the world has to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can hoof it, you can cab it.
Well, he said it was only a couple of blocks up and from the side, so I'd rather hoof it. Actually, keep an eye around us as we go. Which also, at some point, Erickson and I may vanish, but I'll let you know.
Well, good thing you say that because I go ahead and I activate Silence of Death just so that I got to get used to not making noise. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'll go ahead and I'll activate that. When we come up, when we turn the corner on that street, we obviously, as Lucas said, we can't miss it. So it's got to be a huge estate then.
Yeah, and as you move down the 2 blocks and you hang to the left, and you see that one side of the street is designed for businesses, the other side of the street is kind of has small houses, and then as you keep going down, maybe 7 or 8 blocks down, you notice that everything kind of switches, and there's businesses on the right hand side of the street now, and then there's homes on the left instead, except for this one break in between these 2 business buildings that are like 2 and 3 stories respectively. Excuse me. There's this massive plot of land that takes up almost the entire block. And it is very reminiscent of a savannah style plantation.
Oh, I'm very familiar with this then. Okay.
Yeah. There's
walled surroundings or just like or I mean wall surrounding the estate? Okay.
Wall surrounding the estate, and a wall of bushes as well. Foliage, there's topiaries. The front yard is massive. It looks like it is meant to entertain at least 4 or 5 dozen guests easily.
Okay.
Okay.
The plantation itself, the estate is a 2-story building, massive ionic pillars in the front, big old porch, and the facade, excuse me, is eggshell white. Classic white house.
Okay. So at any glance, I mean, obviously through any gates, or if I have to climb a wall in a second to take a look, does it look like the area is patrolled? I mean, even if it's just some rich guy's house. I mean, is there guys walking around with dogs,
Not at
flashlights, that
all.
kind of thing? Okay,
Nope.
so just eerily quiet.
Yep.
What about the building itself? Lights on inside? Does it look
yeah.
like it's been abandoned? Okay, so it's
Oh,
it's live and active.
It's live and active. You can see that there is a shadow that kind of passes through one window on the first floor, and then a second one that passes on the second floor.
Okay, so there's at least 2 people
There's
in the
movement.
building.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
movement.
Right. But when we see the movement, is this more of a methodical, like predictable movement, as in someone is patrolling on the inside on each floor?
It is a hurried bit of movement that looks like they're answering some kind of call.
Okay. The buildings that are next to it, as you said, there's a break in between it. Are those structures taller than this estate?
One is there is a textile building that has a shop, like a storefront for the first floor, and then what you would imagine are its sweatshops above it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that is 3 stories. So,
Okay. I want to go ahead and just look around to see, considering that the way that this place is built, you have the shops on either side. Given the time, the shops are not open, obviously.
not at all.
Across the street from there would be homes.
Mhm.
Is there anything that looks out of the ordinary? Possibly you have someone that is. I just want to see if there's anybody sitting out, kind of like what they did in Curtis Mansion back in the day, where they had someone literally patrolling across the street from the house.
No. Anybody that looks like they're outside is currently looks like they're on their porch, just kind of enjoying what smells like a cup of cocoa. Like there's an older couple that's sitting on their porch, kind of bundled up, on one of those little like bench style seats. They're just kind of enjoying the weather. You can smell the cocoa. You can smell that one of the cocos has a little bit of rum inside of it.
All right. People know how to live their lives. Taking a look at the area around, obviously, just keeping an eye on any humans who might happen to be looking at us too much. But what's the sewer? What do the sewer access look like around that area? Because if we're thinking of saving a Nosferatu, possibly meeting up with other Nosferatu unexpectedly, do we have manhole covers? I mean, there's with houses and everything around, there's got to be something going on.
The strange part about it is that coming up from the coffee shop, there was a manhole cover every block and a half. Coming up this way and looking down the street, there are no manhole covers for like 3 blocks.
Okay. Another quick, just idle question on that same vein. Does it look like areas where there were formerly any sewer covers have been like concreted over or just like been replaced?
That will require a wits and awareness roll from you.
Okay. Because the Malkavian Primogen hasn't been there that long. They had the whole. What did you say for the roll?
Wits and awareness.
Wits and awareness. Oh, good. Actually,
6
shit, I'm
die
good at.
pool. Yeah, so 5 regular and 1 hunger.
I wish it was like other games where I want to assist. Let me assist.
You can make your own roll.
Yeah, this is me. This is me doing the Ancillay thing, where it's just like I know just a little bit more about vampiric society, so I know what to look for.
Well, I mean, I will, considering that you are searching, and I noticed that, I'll go ahead and do it just in a general sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you see him looking at looking for something in particular, so you're just like, oh yeah, what are you looking at? What am I looking at?
All right, I got a
What are we doing?
7 on the hunger die, 2 6s, an 8, and 2 5s.
Okay.
Oh, this is probably the worst roll I've had in this game so far. So I've gotten 3 2s,
Okay.
Ooh.
3 2s, 2 1s, and a 6.
Oof. That
I
6.
think I think the ground looks beautiful. Whatever I'm
Yeah.
looking at looks pretty nice. It looks really
Matter
nice.
of fact, you find one fewer manhole covers than there would have
Yeah.
been.
That 6 saved you from being in complete and utter uselessness.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you kind of you see that Andreas starts looking around, kind of keen-eyed, narrows down his eyelids to kind of start scanning, and you're just like, yes, of course, it's detective time. Uh, and you start looking around, and immediately you're drawn to a car down the street that's just reminiscent of your car. It's just a different color, like it's a maroon kind of
Oh,
reddish
great,
color.
great.
And you're just like, why would someone paint that car that color? Like that's disgusting. Uh,
I agree.
uh, and then you see that there's like a baby seat in the passenger side, and you're just like, oh, this is not a family car. Like you start having this whole conversation with yourself about um, what a mistake this was for whoever owns this car. And Andreas is just like, oh yeah, that used to be a manhole cover there. There used to be a manhole cover over there.
Oh,
Uh,
manhole covers. That's what we're doing. I was just like, oh, okay.
yeah, there are two locations where manhole covers used to be that have been paved over. It's a great job though. It's almost impossible to the naked, untrained eye, but since you know what you're looking for, you can see
Yeah.
the small striations.
And some of its concrete looks a little newer than it should.
Mhm.
Okay.
But great pains have been taken to kind of weather it, to not stick out.
Right. All right. So I point out to Erickson what I'd been noticing on the way in, that all of a sudden is like sewer access has been apparently completely cut off in this area, because on the way from the coffee shop we were seeing these things like every block and a half. Now that spot there, those would be the two closest city sewers, all paved over. No way in, no way out, especially for our tunnel dwelling Canite friends.
Okay.
So I have a good feeling that this estate would be the Primogen's haven.
Oh, no, I mean, do you think that we should go through the sewer, or are you thinking that?
My thought was trying to find a sewer entrance so that maybe we could see if any of the local Nosferatu are massing in this area. If they want to either save or destroy Teddy or whatever they have planned, I figured they're not going to be out here on the surface. If they're going to be trying to get at this guy, they're coming up from below like they usually like. And and this guy has made it challenging.
While you guys are talking, you both notice that the gate to the estate lightly shifts open and then closes like the wind just pushed on it, except there was no breeze.
I want to go ahead and roll to see whether or not, considering that this has happened in front of me before, if this is something that's very similar to what these guys have done to me in the past.
Oh, for sure. This is definitely somebody obfuscated that has entered the estate.
Okay. I turn to Andreas. I'm like, I can't do that. And I do this and I turn around.
There is a couple looking at the situation.
Yeah.
But you do
Yeah.
hear them kind of like, "Oh, did you see that? More weird shit coming from that building."
Oh, easy, very easy. I'll go over there.
Yeah. Well,
Alright.
Erickson, first let's get around a corner away from them. Then I can do my magic, my happy magic vanish hour, and we can also find a spot to get you over the wall.
Oh, I was actually gonna just free fall from the third floor, from the third story of that one building. That's essentially what I was gonna do.
Leave the stupid stunts to your Ravnos friend. You've got potence, man. I mean, like, you pick the right shadowy spot, you can clear this wall without touching it, probably. Matter of fact, I dare you.
How about this? You go ahead, go
Obfuscate.
in. You go ahead and you go in, obviously. And if you can,
You guys see the
uh,
door to the actual plantation open and close.
Them is a wasting.
all right, just go. I'll figure it out. We go around the corner. I close
Okay,
my eyes. I turn around.
Yeah, let's still try and find a good spot for him. But yeah, so kick on my obfuscate, silence of death, and invisibility.
All right, make your rouse check.
All right. I am aroused.
Mm,
Ooh, 8. Ocho.
okay. As both of you cross the street towards the plantation side of things, and you start looking around for a place for Erickson to jump over, there's a moment where both your beasts suddenly recoil.
I look in the direction of where that could be coming from.
It's coming from inside the house.
Okay.
Something very dangerous has just, for all intents and purposes, roused itself, and you felt it all the way out here.
Okay, nice. So whoever the fuck snuck in there pissed something off. I can't wait to stir this hornet's nest.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what Melvin got himself into. I just believe that's what's going on right now. It warms my heart knowing he's doing stupid shit right now. If that's the case.
But yeah, you either vault it with potence or you sneak in with obfuscate. Both of you find your way into the plantation itself, and inside the house, it is completely different. It is decked out in Nazi memorabilia. It is straight out of the Third Reich. There are banners. There's the swastika. There's the eagle. Everything is decked out, and to one side you can see a grand staircase, and there is what looks to be this large Aryan-looking man with what looks to be 3 long and deep gashes that start at the bottom of his right side stomach and come up to his left side shoulder. And there is this wild Kurosawa spatter of blood that follows what would be the arc of an attack. And you see him just fucking dying. You can hear him. To Erickson, it sounds like he's mumbling gibberish. To Andreas, who actually had to learn some German, and although it is rusty, because I don't think that you actually took the point in languages.
No, I did not.
You only get partial words and fragments that you recognize. He is praying.
Okay.
You can hear him talking about how it's almost like the though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death speech.
I take a look at my life and your eyes. There's nothing left. All right, yeah. Let's go.
Don't get us demonetized. You look around and you see that there's a trail of blood that leads to a stairway leading down into a basement, and you see a very almost identical person, another Aryan male, familial resemblance. They're not quite identical twins, but there's definitely that relation. And he has a very similar, if not mirrored, wound. And he's gone already. This looks much deeper, much more like there was a stop here. There was conscious effort made to mirror the wound, because the main attack was 3 very ice pick like stabs into the bottom of the stomach, and then the rake up is an afterthought. But the blood splatters all over the wall, but the blood drips that you followed over have made their way downstairs. And if you go
And
down
this
there,
and this looks like it just happened. Like
yeah, the blood is
yeah.
fresh.
Yeah, we're literally following whoever was doing this. This is what we're doing right now.
Yeah. And as you go downstairs, you see the Malkavian Primogen is impaled in what would be a medieval torture device. He is screaming in German. There is what looks to be this average height, statuesque woman, long hair, long black hair, brown eyes, almost looks alien in how perfect her features are.
Fuck me.
But you see that one of her hands is just elongated. All the fingers are at least like 9 inches long, just pure stakes for fingers, basically. And she turns to look at the two of you, and she points at what looks to be a gas chamber. And there is this, not cacophony, but it almost sounds like a male voice and a female voice coming out at the same time from one single vocal cord. And she goes, "If you could save my grandchild, I would be much appreciative."
Grandchild.
Okay, Lady Deathstrike. Just I look over at the gas chamber, or
Through the little window, you can see Teddy, worse for wear, unmoving
inside the chamber.
inside the chamber.
Yeah, I ripped that door open.
Okay,
I'll use potence.
sure.
Let me see.
Make your roster.
Yep. That's a 1.
Okay, so your hunger goes up by 1. In this moment, whatever the hunger the beast even attempts to throw in your face is inconsequential compared to the monstrosity of what is currently happening in front of you. The door is pulled easily. One of the hinges gives, the other one does not, but easily you rip it from its lock position. Inside, you see that Teddy has been crucified to a wooden crucifix. He has been mockingly nailed in, almost like Jesus Christ was. The cats, you notice, are lashed with leather straps down to the floor. There has been a lot of evidence of torture here, and even Teddy is staked.
It almost makes me wish my character actually had the dot in linguistics for German, so I could look at the lady and be like, "Meine Frau, wo ist du Kinder?"
And you hear the through the German, the Malkavian Primogen just yells out, "You will not get away with this. I don't care who you are." And then you hear a very decidedly pierced flesh sound.
Wasn't he impaled like a second ago?
Yeah, but not staked.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying. But he was impaled, like affixed something.
And you see that if you turn around, she has driven her hand through his throat, and she just opens it like a fan, and his head goes flying. And the body starts to desiccate to match its age.
Okay.
And she turns around, and with a speed that is inhuman, even to Erickson, who has celerity, she is already at Teddy's side, and she just is, her hand starts to reforge down into a regular hand, and she's got his face cupped, and she's just saying something in not even German. This sounds like a lost Transylvanian tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And she pulls the stake free from his heart. There is that sharp intake of breath. He looks at her and he starts to cry, tears of blood.
Oh.
And there's just this very quiet kind of giving in to who she is, and with a flick of one hand, she bats away the what's it called, the nail that's been driven into his hand. With the other one, she bats the other one. She kicks the one off of his feet, and she bites into her wrist and gives him some of her blood.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna drop the rest of my obfuscate so Erickson can actually see my face. So
Yeah.
I can actually mouth to him.
yeah, and
Like, pointing to like the hand and shit.
she looks up at the two of you. She's like, "I want you to know that I appreciate what you have done. You have earned a favor from Sasha Vikos. This is where we're going to end tonight's episode."
All right, with me taking that
buddy.
shit.
Oh, buddy, it's a favor. Put that
No.
in
Yeah.
here.
I'm more impressed with the fact that Sasha Vikos.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I knew that you would be fucking
I know that name.
livid, or excited, or a combination of the two.
Excited just because Sasha was always one of my favorites, even back when she was Micah.
Yep. But as always, thank you guys for being a part of this. Thank you for letting me tell my story, and for helping me tell a fantastic story. I can't wait to see what happens when Melvin comes back and what he's discovered. Because I don't think
have
Jeff.
a favor. We have a
I
favor.
don't think Jeff knows who Sasha Vikos is.
Yes, but at the same time, now also we have two Zemitsi friends for the price of one. And we were just being nice to Teddy. That's like one of those, like, hey, guess what? No one even paid us to come here. Your grandsire didn't ask us to come here. We're just here.
Yeah. But yeah, as part of my outro, I always will give my guests a moment to plug whatever they want to plug. So we'll start with you, Eric. Do you want to tell where people can find you on the internet and whatever else you're doing?
No, if you can find me on the internet, I have not done my job properly. So,
Gotcha. That is the truth of it. Kenny, where can people find you, and what are you up to these days on the internet?
I mean, you can find me on Instagram, social media, yeah, pretty much any social media under Mr. Underscore with the underscore in between each word. I am still part of the group, although we're in hibernation of Crit or Die, Bears Love Gaming. We'll eventually get together when we can. I know that life deals, life is life, and that
Life
causes
finds a way.
Yeah. Life finds a way. Other than that, I'm just trying to find new ways to make stuff and try to focus my ADHD on something. So we'll just for right now
I know that feeling.
it's music. So
Yeah, and funny enough, people can tune in and see what you've done for me when not this Thursday, but next Thursday for our 7th Sea campaign, because we have a whole new theme music for that, which I'm excited to show off. So you were responsible for that.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, no, I appreciate you. As always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We take mental health very seriously here on the channel, so please understand that it is okay to not be okay. And if you need help, there are phone numbers going up if you're watching live in the Twitch chat. They'll be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube later. But just realize that there are people out there who want to help you, who can help you. And there are resources for you if you go looking for them. So just be aware. Mental health is part of our general health, and it shouldn't be held behind a stigmatized or taboo subject matter. So if you feel like you need help, just know that there are avenues for you to go looking down and trying to get the help that you think you need. If you're not in the United States, there is a link going up as well. So you can find the resources closest to your area as possible. As always, you can find us here on Mondays for our Vampire the Masquerade game, our dual storyline. This Monday is our Anarch chapter, as you just watched. Next Monday will be the Camarilla chapter, which we get to see what the ramifications of this event have on them. Tuesdays are split up between Werewolf the Wild West or Legend of the Five Rings, 4th edition from AEG. And then every other Thursday right now is for 7th Sea. It was congruently sharing a Thursday spot with a Dungeons and Dragons game, but because of the whole situation that happened, we are no longer endorsing Wizards of the Coast on this channel. So, as always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you when we see you. Have a good night, everybody.